and you still believe in your heart that America is like, America is good, right? America's good, and our leadership is good, and they want to do their very best to do right by the American citizens. They don't. They don't give a fuck. As long as their rich benefactors keep making money, that's all they're gonna do. You think every single fucking General McFuckstick that went on national TV yesterday and had a very hard time hiding their fucking boners when they were rock hard, nipples so hard they could cut through diamonds, salivating at the prospect of striking Iran again and again? Do you think that those guys were all that horny because now they know their pedophile sex tapes are never going to be fucking released? No, they just love death and destruction. They think about all the money that they're going to be making for the companies that they now lobby for, and many of them are also white supremacist psychopaths.
IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non.
How do you explain 4 different Western countries regurgitating the same tweet? Easy. They're dogs to America. What do you mean? They're dogs to America, and they already get their talking points from pro-Israel groups anyway. They either get their talking points from pro-Israel groups, or they get their talking points from America, which is the largest pro-Israel group on the planet. Yeah. This is their ultimate ambition. These guys do not operate outside of the confines of whatever America wants to do. It's that simple. Our interests align with Israelis. Our interests align with Israel's. Like, Israel is our weapon to wield in the region. The problem here is that because of its special client state status, Israel has chewed way more than it can fucking swallow for far too long. And I think because America recognizes that it is at the precipice of losing its hegemonic status. I mean, look at what they're doing. They can't even fucking dominate Russia. They want to pack up the region with one big Hail Mary campaign. How do you explain AIPAC's involvement if there isn't a slight cabal, which is not Jewish, but Israel? It's not even, dude, what you're just trying to say it's a cabal when what you mean is the Israel lobby. That's not a fucking cabal. They're not doing it secretly. There is no blood rituals happening. They're just doing it in broad daylight. Why is it that every American has to find like a fantastical conspiracy when things are unfolding, like conspiracies, not conspiracy theories, but conspiracies in the actual term of it, to conspire, is happening in broad daylight in front of you? No blood rituals necessary. It's so weird that people are just like, oh, dude, it's just like, seems like there's got to be like some kind of shadow government. It's like, it's not a shadow. It's just the government, okay? That's why I keep saying, I think completely disregarding the blackmail is not realistic. There must be blackmail and corruption element. No, it's corruption. It's not fucking blackmail. Does blackmail exist? Absolutely, for the record. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, Jeffrey Epstein is a joint CIA Mossad project that was a blackmail operation for a tremendous amount of wealthy and powerful people. Okay? That was definitely the case. But if you think that the reason why Bill Clinton was fucking pro-Israel is because like he was fucking children on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express, you're out of your mind. He was doing that for fun on the side. He wasn't doing that so that that Israel could have blackmail material on Bill Clinton and then force him to take a position that was unsustainable for Palestinian emancipation. Do you understand? Fethullah Hasanabi Gülen, FETÖ'cü yayını. Bu da çok inanılmaz yani. Benden daha anti-CIA bir yayın olamaz ama Erdoğan'ın köpekleri geliyor buraya, FETÖ'cü diyorlar gerizekalılar. Ulan nerem FETÖ'cü? Hayvanoğlu hayvan. Ben Amerika'nın uşağı mıyım? Sen benden daha çok Amerika'nın uşağısın. Okudum evet. Gerizekalı. The right-wing hog version of what Americans say when Americans call me a terrorist because of my reasonable position, the Turkish version of that is to say I am an agent of Fethullah Gülen, as in I'm an agent of the CIA, which is the Turkish version of saying I'm a terrorist.
non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence that there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we haven't.
Like, look, Trigaro, here, I'm going to try and allow this statement so that I can respond to it. He says, nah, I understand you not trying to be anti-Jewish, but stating simple facts isn't. Zionist Jews have coerced this country to heal through blackmail and bribery. This is the only part of this. I mean, there's multiple part of this that's wrong, okay? I'm not saying this because I'm afraid of coming across as anti-Semitic. I'm saying what I'm saying because that is the truth, okay? This is not the truth. That's it. The idea that it's actually a Jewish invention, the idea that this is like simply the product of Jews and their trickery is not only anti-Semitic, but also, outside of being bigoted, is just wrong. Like, at its most simple, at its most basic, it's just fucking wrong. Biden is not Jewish. It's not because Biden was blackmailed by Mossad or something that he was unimaginably pro-Israel for the entirety of his career. It is because he is an evangelical, but a Catholic Zionist, okay? Even a more unique position. This country has a fuck ton of evangelical Zionists, okay? It's wrong. Thomas Massey interview, they have handlers for most politicians. Of course they do. Just like the NRA does. Hassan Marco Rubio just said, bro. He said, bro, LaMafia, what? Israel does not have to coerce America and Americans, or Israel has to coerce Americans, certainly. But Israel does not have to coerce American politicians, the American government, to get $300 billion of military and economic aid for the past 80 fucking years. Okay? They don't have to coerce anybody to do that. That's a given already. The coercion comes and the influence peddling comes at the point of continuing this allegiance that is basically outsourced to Israel to manufacture consent for. Do you understand? This benefits America's foreign policy goals. But because it has gotten so out of control and the influence was so fucking pervasive that in a moment like this, where every American, especially due to social media, has seen exactly what Israel is doing in Gaza, has seen what Israel's been doing in Lebanon, the old ways of stamping out dissent no longer work. Part of that is because it's not America's war. If this was another 9/11 style situation, like October 7th happening to Israel as opposed to happening to America, is part of the reason why most Americans are like, okay, I mean, that's pretty crazy. These guys are savages, sure. But like what Israel has done since then is like way more savage. That's the average American position. This didn't happen to America. It happened to Israel. Most Americans still understand Israel as a totally separate foreign country. Part of that is because of the steady propaganda that Israel is a foreign country with autonomy. I think these chatters that are questioning you either don't know or have forgotten the tangible benefits like foreign policy goals, an umbrella term. Yeah, also, here's another thing. Okay? As far as like the influence peddling and even censorship regime that Israel implements in America, that is allowed by the American state, going so far as to have pro-Israel groups that can masquerade in Western society as advocacy groups for Jews, right? This is a lie, of course. The ADL does not care about Jews, and it doesn't care about anti-Semitism at all. It's simply using anti-Semitism as a cudgel, as a weapon to wield against those who dare criticize Israel. But there's a reason why people are still afraid, especially careerists are still afraid, to come out and speak the truth, even if they feel it. And it's not because of fucking blackmail. It is because of the unimaginable metric ton of shit they throw your way. Here's a great example of this. You know what my position is. I have combated anti-Semitism in perpetuity for my entire professional media career. I've been targeted and attacked relentlessly by Nazis for this. And yet, when push came to shove post-October 7, and I did not stray away from my position on Palestinian emancipation, okay, I became enemy number one, public enemy number one for the ADL. And now, after an entire year and a half, almost 2 years of nonstop fucking propaganda smears, they even use politicians that are also pro-Palestine. They use us conversing with one another as a way to fucking attack Zoran in a sea of other also equally idiotic fucking statements like support for boycott, divestments, and sanctions movement, defense of the phrase globalize the intifada, condemning Israel after October 7 attacks. None of these things actually meet the standard of scrutiny, okay? None of them. Refusing to disavow controversial streamer Hassan Piker, who called Jews inbred after appearing on a show. I didn't call Jews inbred. I called Kahanist settler terrorist inbred, as I have done so for every single fundamentalist weirdo. I call right-wingers who are ultra-nationalist terrorists in Israel inbred, just as I call right-wingers who are ultra-nationalist terrorists in America inbred, regardless of what their fucking background might be. It's a whole ass different statement. But it doesn't matter. I do it to hogs. I call them pigs, too. Piker has been accused of anti-Semitism for repeatedly describing Orthodox Jews as inbred. That's not true. No, I love Orthodox Jews, for the record. The Kahanist, the Kahanist rabid settlers aside, Neturei Karta is great. Love those guys. They're fantastic. I care about Zionism and anti-Zionism. I don't care about what someone's like fundamentalist perspective is. Condemned October 7th Nova Music Festival as a bloodthirsty pig. Wait, what? Labeled a Vero condemned October 7th Nova Music Festival massacre as a bloodthirsty pig dog during a scene recorded the day after the attacks, which was also criticized as anti-Semitic. Piker says the quotes are taken out of context. When asked why he appeared with the streamer when others have found Piker's comments anti-Semitic, Mamdani doubled down. I'm willing to speak to each and every person about this campaign, and I've said that from the beginning, Mamdani told Politico in April. Anyway, this is the reason why many people just are silenced in this process. And for the longest time, this kind of smear worked, okay? For the longest time, mischaracterizations and false smears of anti-Semitism was incredibly successful at stopping people, progressive people especially, from saying the truth, saying their opinion, investigating further,